All right, everyone. Hello. Weekend is over. I am doing well. Thankfully, the typhoon has not been super bad in my area at the moment, so that is always a good thing. Hopefully, everyone is staying safe out there. And yeah, for the last little while, I've just been trying to fix this. But that is for a stream discussion. I'm here today to talk about the Final Fantasy XIII event that will be coming to global. There is a lot of stuff with the 2.5 anniversary update in terms of banners, all of that, in terms of updates and features and all of this stuff. And no doubt globalers are keeping a close eye on JP in the next little future with new Warriors of Crystals and the third anniversary coming up. So yes, there's plenty of things going on, and to that extent, it's going to be a busy time, and I'm here to talk about characters and recommendations for these characters. I'm also, towards the end of this video, going to compare them to the tactics units, since tactics units are coming out, and they are roughly the same elements with a few exceptions. I will do another tactics video closer to tactics release on global, because some people will probably just be looking for the tactics recommendation, so I'll do that there. But anyway, I'm also going to be giving a little bit of a different thing today. I'm going to be giving a grade for each of the three characters in terms of my overall recommendation. My music has just dropped out. I don't know if that's a browser issue or what. There we go. Fixed it. All right, just going to keep going. So let's start with all three characters. And first of all, I'm going to start off with Lightning, because she is undoubtedly one of my favorite characters, if not one of my favorite character models in the game. She looks amazing. I really love this character model in terms of the scope of against a lot of other characters in terms of their design. I just think her style works really well in the Wotv thing, and that's not even talking about her kit. This is still one of my highest recommended units for JP. If we could reroll for her, I'd say that she is one of my, you should probably reroll for this character kind of thing. She is that good. Even today on JP, she is still heavily seen in Arena. I would say that she is one of the core Arena teams, especially for the Lightning element. And with the characters that have come out on JP recently, Lightning teams have stayed relevant in terms of bonus units. So just an amazing long-term value on JP. Of course, the global release schedule will be a little bit different, but with Halloween and Christmas units, you never know exactly when more units will come along to help boost the want to run a Lightning team in Arena. But in terms of PvP and PvE, this is one of the characters I think is best with shooting abilities, high damage slash abilities with AP regeneration and barrier. She is just generally one of the strongest characters and can even match against a lot of the other good elements right now on JP Arena, which include lightning, of course, ice, wind, and so on. But yes, Lightning is definitely one of the strongest units. If you look at all the support she gets in the FF13 event, along with her vision card, she definitely earns her A+ rating from me, and I will stand by that, even to the people who are like, Ibarra, Esther. Lightning is just incredibly great on JP, and I think she'll be really great for globalers who are especially Lightning fans. But I think that she is also generally strong for anybody who is playing the game. So she is one of my more highly recommended units, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. Next up, an incredibly highly recommended unit that I also have is Snow. Now, I have a 120 Agris, and I still say that there is some comparability. We'll talk about that again closer to the end of the video, but Snow is just really strong. You take the Brave Little Leela, whatever she's called on global, the new version of Leela, who has an ability to, if she takes a ton of HP damage, she effectively regenerates a ton of HP, making her kind of a tank. Well, this is a more pure tank. and he is just a really, really good physical tank and a really overall good ice elemental tank. He is the character of choice, but on JP, there just aren't that many people that have him, and there are other elements people are running right now. I still think that this character is great. Even today on JP, I would absolutely be running him constantly in my ice elemental team if he was at 120. And that's the only real problem I'm going to talk about with him, is the fact that he is, unlike Lightning. Lightning feels like a warrior of the crystal, and at any level, the performance is quite high. But with Snow, I mean, not getting his level 115 is damaging, but not getting his level 120 is just really bad. His job level 25 ability here is effectively the thing that he's marketed on. You know, take too much HP damage, survive, and just get stronger for it. As well as a HP regeneration, which on a high HP tank is insane. This unit is just insanely good and one of the higher recommended ice units out there, especially for anybody who wants to run ice. Even if you're running just pure offense like me, there are plenty of times where a tank would just keep units safe and make your overall team stronger. So Snow is just a really high recommendation, but also extremely costly. You do have to spend a good amount of resources to get him to job level 25 before the end of the event, and I don't think it's up for discussion. Not that his performance isn't good before that, it's just it's so much higher when you finish it. So yeah, him plus Barris plus Eliza is an insanely strong and reliable composition that is really terrifying for enemies to go up against. So I'm going to leave it at that. But yes, I would say that overall I would rate him as an A, just because he does have competition. He is costly, and yeah, I mean, overall his damage I don't think is ever going to be that insane, because ice, glove is just not, or fist I should say, is just not that supported of a damage type. But I still strongly recommend this for anybody looking for a new generation tank that is very powerful. Doesn't already have Agrius, and again, put a pin in that. And last but not least is Hope, and Hope is a unit that I felt really positively about when he came out, and I still feel fairly positively for PvE, but I don't feel positive so more for PvP. His use in PvP, unlike Snow and Lightning, is definitively fallen off, because everyone on JP effectively got Lightning. Not so many people got Snow, and Hope was a free unit, so you get the first copy of him regardless. And let me tell you, after the first few weeks of Light being relevant on JP in terms of bonus, the use of this unit has considerably dropped off, especially with some units getting rebalanced around certain updates. Jaden has seen more use again, Engelbert has seen use, and of course the Light Evasion team still pops up on JP Arena, though considerably less often. But there's no room for Hope in almost any of these combinations that we're looking at here. And to that extent, I just have to say that Hope is probably my B or B-. I mean, really, I think you can get use out of him out of PvP, but out of all the 3 units that are coming out with FF13, he is definitely my lower recommendation. And yeah, that kind of hurts him. But for PvP, definitively just don't think it's quite there. Light is still trying to do other things, and Light is not feeling especially powerful on JP right now, with some of the other elements getting a much heavier focus the last few months. So there you go. So if I was to recommend overall the Final Fantasy 13 characters, this would be my recommendation. Hope is free, but I don't overly recommend building him unless you are a major Light person, or just kind of like the character, or like his move kit. I don't personally, I have since dropped him for better units, since all of my resources have been going to the other 13 characters. In terms of Snow, really like the unit, but recommending him. He's not going to be an all-purpose tank. I don't think he is as good overall as June. He is particularly a really interesting character to build and use, and I think that he is really good still even on JP. especially with the number of win teams into the future. He's just really good in a ton of matchups against wins and whatnot. But he does have a fairly good alternative. And the other thing is that you got to get him to job level 25 to really have fun. And that might just be something that some people are not willing to do or have the resources to do. But my most recommended character of the entire event is definitively 100% Lightning. Lightning is just insanely good still to JP. She's one of my favorite characters in terms of just in-game model. She's one of my favorite characters just on the Lightning element. Even if everything else was not a factor, I just love having Lightning in a ton of teams. She's a great farmer, great PvE, great PvP. She is, to my eyes, a pseudo warrior of the crystal in all seriousness. Really, 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 really have tons of positive things to say about Lightning. So if you are wondering which character I recommend everybody get, it's Lightning. Snow is very much for specific units. And last but not least, Hope is a free unit, but some people may want to build him and some people may want to pass. And both of those options are generally fine, but he is not a priority to me. And for the sake of this video, here, let's do this. As I am just finished with this, so I can finally boot this guy all the way up to job level 25. I'm not going to increase this in the middle of the video, but I am going to get this fully awakened. All right, so we're going to talk about the other characters, the Final Fantasy Tactics in brief, and right now where I recommend them versus their 13 counterparts. Because Mustadio we'll talk about more next week, but maybe more interesting with a new Earth Gunner being announced on the JP side as a Warrior of the Crystal. As for Delita, I can tell you right now that Delita doesn't have much of a place, but again, I'll go into more on that next week and talking about fire evasion and fire in general. I know fire people, you hate me for telling the truth, but anyway. So let's talk about Orlandeau. Orlandeau versus in general, I say, is actually quite good. I would overall recommend him to build, especially for Lightning people and Lightning people who just like this character. He is very good, and he actually does have relevance in PvP. With the amount of arena teams that are running around with projectile, any unit that has innate projectile resistance is automatically worth considering, and he does get boosts and bonuses throughout his kit. He is one of the EXs I like a little bit more. In terms of his matchup versus Lightning, both are good for their own reasons. I still say that Lightning is better overall because she's just more universally better for every single thing on an account, and I'm not joking about that. In terms of thinking about just like what this guy can do, I mean, the fact that he can take so much damage and potentially restore all of it with a Drain Blade hit cannot be understated about how good that really is. And I would absolutely recommend this character for that reason alone. I really do like Landu. If you're short on Thunder resources, though, and you only have to pick one, it's always going to be Lightning. But Landu is really good. On Global, the fact that Esther is also a thing might be a dissuasion from some people. And in that case, maybe just keep an eye on it. But honestly, overall, I still really like Landu. I've heard good performance from him, and I still see him in Arena, even now 3-ish months down the road from the Tactics event on JP. So he's got to be doing something right. And he does put up a pretty damn good fight with the Drain Blade, potentially being a really big tide turner. So yeah. He also just synergizes well with Lightning, since they're both Thunder Slash, and you can put them with Charlotte. Heck, maybe use Esther as a tank on a team of 3 slashing-based Lightning characters with projectile resistance. That could be insane on Global. But yeah, I do still strongly think positively of this character. Probably would give him an A overall against his counterpart. Now switching over to Ice, Agrius is a unit that I do have and have used a fair bit, and I have to say the difference between Agrius and Snow basically comes down to a kind of tank that you can build for more general all-purpose reasons. Just to show you, this is what I have equipped with her. It's very outdated, but don't hold that against me. But this unit just has an insane amount of magical resistance, as well as an insane, pretty good amount of defense. Like Celeste, you could build her one way or the other, or you could build her to just be primarily a magic-based tank. I don't think it really matters. Status effects, I haven't had the greatest of luck since her EX update. It doesn't really do that much for her. But I still do really like this character for different reasons. Snow feels more new generation. Agrius can be more high rolly depending on if she lands a status effect on her opponent. Agrius can be boosted up to about 100 speed with the TMR runes and whatnot, and generally she synergizes well with a lot of the Ice Vision cards that could still have Human Killer on it, as well as attack up and all of that. But in all honesty, Agrius is a very good tank. I would still overall give the nod to Snow because he's just a newer unit with newer things and better things in his kit that feel more relevant to today's game. But that is not to say that I don't like her at all, because I do like her a lot. I do think that this character is really good. I do think that this character is really strong, and I'm still using her and enjoying her. But yeah, Snow is the better overall, so I'd give this character as well a general A, maybe an A minus, depending on your luck with status effects. And the last character to talk about is Ramza. And Ramza, my Ramza, oh, I don't know what to think. This is a unit that has proven really good in PvE content and nowhere in PvP. And I guess I can say the same for Agrius. Agrius is another unit that I haven't seen in PvP at all, but I do see a fair amount of like Orlando's still, comparatively. This guy I don't see at all. I do not see him anywhere. I don't think that he's bad, but again, with the light element feeling the way it is on JP, it makes it harder to recommend him. Maybe there's another light vision card that I'm forgetting about on global, but I still think that this character overall falls a little bit short for every area. And that kind of brings us to the end. Again, I want to talk more about the tactics units in depth next week, but for the most part, it feels kind of like a tie between Ramza and Hope in terms of their usefulness and the places that they are good at, with bonus units being the kind of thing that most people did see them stick around in Arena. As for Lightning, two really good options, but I will always give the nod to actual Lightning instead of a Lightning Boy. And in terms of Ice, Snow does get the nudge just because he does have newer, stronger features that keep a tank alive. But Agrius is still a good unit. I mean, if at all, I would say that Ice is the greediest element, because you have two potential really strong tanks for slightly different reasons. Lightning is strong for the two Lightning units are in the same way quite strong, but Lightning does take the cake to me, and yeah, Light is meh. But anyway, that's my overall thoughts on it. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you didn't find it too insulting to your sensibilities, because that's what the end of the day this is, free advice. So yeah, I guess if we were to give an overall award to a unit, it would be Lightning for being the just general. You should probably get this unit because she's insanely good. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care and hope to see you in the future.